Bismillah, I want to get married, but I'm relapsing in pornography. I'm afraid to get married because I'm going to relapse in pornography and it's going to break my marriage. And I'm told that there's so many divorces, there's so many issues because of men relapsing into pornography after they get married. Let's address this question, inshallah. I get this question very often, and today I got it. And that's why I wanted to make another video about this. I spoke about it before. Bottom line is, there's a lot of answers out there. A lot of people theoretically, hypothetically, they want to talk about this, the philosophy of addiction and how to get rid of it. And they give you, for example, like 8 months, 1 year, you have to try to be off. Even 6 months, we spoke about this before. My opinion is that you have to have a parallel approach in working on yourself, self-development, staying away from relapsing as much as you can. But bottom line is, because this addiction is so different, it's linked to your innate desire of intimacy. It cannot be handled as other addictions. It's very, very different to get to shake off. I believe that if we are realistic and pragmatic about it, and we don't have this holier than thou behavior, because the whole focus is on men, porn men. Men are addicted, men are this, men are that, men get caught. It's men's fault that marriages fall apart at the beginning because they're porn addicts and so on. I think if we focus on the reality and the data that we have, that women are also addicted to pornography and they're watching pornography. I've posted so much about it. So many women use our anonymous service to talk about this and to tell us their struggles. I believe if people are realistic, if couples have this in their mind that, yes, let's work on developing ourselves. So if you go on one streak of self-development, changing your lifestyle, your behavior, tawbah, closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not relapsing, at least 2 months, fighting hard. But at the same time, you invest in vetting for the right spouse, a woman or man, obviously, depending who you are, man or woman, to have quality intimacy with, to be someone that you're attracted to. A lot of these guys and these girls, they don't want to even meet people. They're like, no, I didn't like the picture. I'm like, meet them so you can feel the attraction is felt through the chemistry just by talking to someone and asking a few questions. The proximity within the halal means, of course, the Sharia means, allows you to understand whether this woman, this man can be the one that you're going to feel connected to. Because yes, quality intimacy is extremely important in solving this problem. Why do men and women relapse even after marriage? Because they fall out of intimacy right away. The intimacy is not good quality. People say, but it's because of pornography. But you see, I got this chicken egg thing. You got this circular argument problem. Bottom line is you have to take a parallel approach, but be realistic. If you're not going to be realistic, you're not going to be honest, pragmatic about this, that women have to also admit that they themselves are suffering from this. Not that all the focus on men. Men watch pornography. Men are addicts. Men are masturbators. Men are this. Men are that. Men. It's men who fail in marriage. But we have the data to show us that women watch pornography as much as men, if not even more, and worse genres of pornography. But of course, because they're women, they don't get caught. They're very good at not being caught. Plus, they're always innocent. They look very innocent. They act very innocent. But when they discover that their husband is struggling with this, oh, that's it. He's cut off. Divorce. Boom. Yet she herself is watching some crazy genre of pornography. And she's been struggling with it. But there's that self-reflection that hurts her, that she realized that I'm like that actually. I don't want to be close to someone like that. Therefore, I want to cut him off because I'm better just struggling with myself. It's not the solution. So what I propose as a solution is this parallel approach. Work on yourself. Have at least 2 months of sobriety. If you talk about 6, 7, 8, 9 months, whatever, it's not realistic. You will. Imagine you reach 5 months. You say, yeah, 6 months and then I'll look for marriage. 6 months of sobriety, I'll look for marriage. Imagine you reach 5 months. And then you're like, you relapse. You go back to square one. The depression, the sadness, the resentment towards yourself causes you depression because you failed. Because again, what's sold to is that everything's reset. It's not like that. You've gone 60 days, 70, 80 days, and one shortcoming. It's 80 versus 1. You've scored 80 goals and the shaitan scored 1 goal. Think like that. Yes, be strict with yourself, but don't fall into that depression. So imagine you're building this mentality of 6 months, 7, 8 months free, and then 5-month mark, you relapse. And then you're delaying marriage again. You're not doing anything. Start on the linear approach again. Start from zero. Let's keep going 6 months. Then I'll get married. No, parallel. Invest as much you're investing in yourself, in boosting that dopamine through different activities, through your schedule and so on. Invest in your looking for marriage, removing the obstacles from your path of marriage, educating your parents and the community about marriage and the importance of educating yourself, and seeing different options available within the halal means. So you build. Imagine you have now, let's say it's April, and you know that in July, you've already found someone, the date for marriage in July. You're working towards that date. For sure, inshallah, you're going to have those 3 months of no relapsing because you're going to be working hard. And if you are honest with yourself, and if your future wife is also honest with herself, that she herself probably most likely has stumbled upon porn, some sort of form of porn, whether hardcore or softcore or social media or on Instagram or on Twitter or some sex scenes or on Netflix or whatever, and it affected her, if she is honest enough, she doesn't have to admit it to you, but if she's honest enough with herself, she's not going to let the atomic bomb fall on you if she somehow finds out that there's some issues with you. Yes, this is a problem. It's a reality that people are falling out because of pornography. Yes, some people have never watched pornography in their life. They have the right to say, hey man, I've kept myself pure, and how dare you deceive me and be in this situation. But if you yourself are in the situation that most people are in today, because of the smartphone, guys, this thing when it came in early 2000s, that everyone now had access, women and men, especially women, because women didn't have access before. That's how we know how women behave and what they watch, because we have the cookies and tracking methods on these phones and these browsers. But if women are honest with themselves, imagine they didn't have access to this, yahi. A woman would have to walk into a sex shop to get a tape or a magazine, which they would be ashamed to do. Till the early 2000s, it was very hard for women to get access to pornography. But now they get it from this simple. They have even 2 of them probably. Not to mention that they're OnlyFans and all this stuff that they do themselves now. So they're faced with this challenge now. If you're a woman who's never done anything, yes, you have the right to say, you know what, sorry, my man, but you deceived me. I'm pure. I protected myself. I don't want you. Yeah, maybe. And then she has the right to divorce. But if you're a woman who's gone about pornography, who you yourself might be struggling with watching some crazy, and I don't even want to go into the type of stuff that women watch, worse than men by 5-fold. But if you're that woman, you should be smart and sincere with yourself and be like, hey, I'm struggling, he's struggling. Let's work together. People say, oh no, my God, 2 porn addicts together is the worst thing. Right, but you're still a porn addict, even if you're separate. What do you think? You can solve the problem? No, you have to work yourself first, 8 months, 1 year, go through all these programs. True, go through the programs. We propose my Tazkiyah program all the time. But you're going back to square one, man. You're hurting yourself because this is not cocaine. This is not alcohol. This is linked to intimacy. So you have to address it from that perspective to have the halal option. All right. So if you're that woman, don't throw the atomic bomb on your husband. Work together. Imagine if couples were to communicate, to not judge each other, to be able to understand each other's mistakes and sins, not to expose necessarily, but to have more mercy towards each other. وَالتَّعَاوُنَ عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Help each other in birr and righteousness. Imagine, I have clients who their wives are their accountability partners. They're mature women. They understand the reality of this world because they themselves, as women, have been caught in this pornography thing. And they say, you know what? I will relieve my husband if he needs to, if he gets a trigger or something, and he will relieve me, and we'll help each other, and we'll go through this together, fighting for the sake of Allah. But if you split because you think you're holier, and you think, no, 2 people together, 2 narcissists, 2 porn addicts together, this can be a big problem. You're speculating. What's your solution? Or the programs. Okay, go through the programs. And you delay marriage again. Delay the real solution to this problem, which is halal intimacy. If you're delaying, People are astaghfirullah, pleasing themselves, burning themselves, shortcutting themselves over and over again, as opposed to targeting the real problem. You need intimacy. You need sex. You need good sex. This is the reality. The reality is, as a woman or a man, whatever you are, you need good sex. Abstinence is not something that's really as a solution 100% in Sharia. Yes, fasting and this, the Prophet advised to marry. And the options of marriage and halal intimacy were many at that time. I don't want to get into it right now. Big story. But this is the reality. You have to get halal intimacy. You have to get married. You have to have good intimacy. Yes, Islam encourages chastity. Chastity is different than abstinence. Chastity is halal intimacy. Abstinence is painful. You know what I'm talking about. So I propose, number one, education within the communities, the masjids, the schools, sexual education, understanding of marriage, understanding of the dangers of pornography, how it destroyed men and women. I propose this to school principals, to imams in communities. I propose this to community leaders, to youth workers. I propose that we work towards resolution. Yes, I know that you can't just jump into marriage. Yes, but you can educate. You can help. You can make marriage programs. You can make marriage weddings. We have the Nikagram. We have so many different marriage systems now. Let's work. We have the vetting processes. Let's work to building this solution. In parallel, I propose what's called a parallel theory of dealing with PMO. Work on yourself, your life, your schedule, all the things that the programs propose, everything, all the steps, plus invest equally amount in the strategy for marriage, in vetting, making sure that you get proper wife or husband that you connect to, that you're attracted to, that you can have good intimacy, inshallah, when you get married, so that you replace the desire for the haram with desire for the halal. Because this is something that needs to be replaced. You cannot get rid of it. You cannot cut it off your life. It's impossible almost, ya. I'm telling you. This is my proposal. It's called a parallel theory in dealing with PMO. Share and like this video. More people need to hear it and understand it. More people need to understand we need to start going beyond band-aid solutions. All these steps, all these things, bottom line is that they're band-aid solutions. Yes, they're important. Yes, when you get a cut or an accident, first thing you do is you start wrapping the bandage around the wound and containing the damage, and then you need to go to the hospital to be treated properly. Think of the steps and the NoFap and abstinence as the first aid kit, but the real treatment that takes place in the hospital, that's the marriage. That's the real halal intimacy. A lot of it, good quality. It's encouraged as much as possible, as the Prophet ﷺ told us, that he'll take pride in our numbers. Trust me, it's not happening. Numbers without intimacy. We don't need to get into it right now, but it is extremely important to have halal intimacy. A lot of it, good quality, amazing, and be pragmatic and realistic. Specifically to the sisters, this thing goes. Be honest with yourself that you yourself has seen it. Again, how do we know? We have access to your data. Do you understand? Not me personally, to your personal data, but the companies and organizations, because they make money and you give them access. Guess what? When you agree to the terms and conditions of using your phone and of using certain websites and accept those or reject those cookies, you give them access. So they give us the data, not your name, but we see the statistics. We know what you're watching. We know what you're doing. Of course, Allah knows what we're all doing. But be realistic. You help your husband, he helps you. Communicate. Talk. You don't have to expose your sins, but be pragmatic. I've seen couples, I said, who help each other in this issue. They're realistic. They don't want to be idealistic. Oh, she's so perfect. And oh my gosh, she made a mistake. Now that issue's written off. Or, oh, he's supposed to be so perfect. Oh my God, how can he do this? He betrayed me because he watched some porn in the past or something. This is something that's touched everyone. Be realistic about the solution, or we will never be able to deal with this. Remember the parallel theory of dealing with PMO. Share this video. Make sure it reaches someone who really needs it. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.